start reasoning and mathematics modules, because only I think 2 or 3 days are left for communication, and after that we shall be doing mathematics and reasoning, and that is for next I think complete 1 month. That will be the situation. We have to complete these subjects, and that will be very interesting, I must tell you, because these are conceptual. There will be some formulas, there will be some practicals. Along with those, we shall be going through live or recorded like live videos of a paper 2 and paper for sometimes these will be recorded videos, because for paper 1 as well maybe we have to take many lectures. So now just going to share you the screen. So before moving further, just need your quick confirmation. Just give me a quick reply. If can I start my lecture right now? Am I completely audible to you? Can you hear me and can you see me completely? All right, thank you so much. Not going to wait further because this is Saturday, and usually no one gets free on Saturday. Always weekends are all only the Sunday is free for everyone. But for us, that was opportunity that Saturday is also free. All right, now just going to share the screen and show you what we have prepared, and we shall complete this topic in a very great manner so that you can understand each and everything related to that. So now, as you all know, we are already going through from the organization behavior part of HRM or human resources management, the management regarding the specific behavior of a human resources. So that is the complete topic we are going in these days, and I have already taught you a number of things from recruitment to final evaluation of the performance of the employees, and we have also understood regarding organization behavior as well. I have taught you regarding personality perception, how do the person perceives, what is the process of a perception, and most importantly we have already gone through from some of the theoretical concepts regarding perception and personality as well. So now this topic is going to be the extension of organization behavior topics, and that is certainly be going to be regarding attitude and its theories, and that is going to be the first question of today's topic. I shall tell you about attitude, what is attitude and what are its different theoretical bases and how this is formed. There have been, I think, 3 or 4 famous theories which we have to understand and go through, because I wish to teach you everything which can be made part of the examination. After that, the second question shall be regarding group dynamics, how the groups are formed in the organization. Okay, group simply when 2 or more people join their hands for their future friendship and for any kind of a purpose like formal or informal, that shall be covered under group dynamics. And finally, I shall tell you what is the meaning of stress management in case of organization behavior. What do we mean by stress? What are the different causes of stress and how to overcome the stress? So that is going to be the complete structure of today's topic. I have given you information one by one. We shall be going through all these things, and I must tell you, these are not that much longer enough. Okay, only 3 or 4 theories are there. Only 1 or 2 points are there regarding group dynamics and stress management. And all that will be covered within a specified time frame. And next lecture shall be taken 10 minutes after this lecture. Now just going to start regarding attitude and its theories. So before understanding that, I believe that you have already understood regarding personality lecture which I took yesterday. I told you this is the totality of an individual, and after personality, I have taught you regarding perception as well. How do you perceive regarding someone? Okay, I have given you personal information regarding myself. Now you can you can think about where do we stand, or what do I do, what do I have done in previous. Okay, that all thinking you make about myself is your perception. Okay, that I have taught you completely yesterday, these two topics. I believe that you understand these two, only then you shall be able to comprehend regarding attitude. So what is attitude? Attitude is just a dispositional readiness to respond. Okay, you see something, you suddenly respond to them. You see something suddenly. Okay, you are sitting somewhere in your house at a chair or a table or anywhere. Okay, you can be having your cell phone with you and you are watching my video lecture live. Okay, suddenly someone knocks your door and he or she comes. Okay, then you respond to their coming. Okay, so this is a dispositional readiness. Dispositional word simply means your bodily, your bodily readiness to respond to certain institution, person, or object. That is called attitude. Okay, just your bodily readiness to respond to something is your attitude. So this is all about that. In a consistent manner which has been learnt, because attitude is always learnt, and this is always a typical mode of response. Okay, like my way of responding to someone is completely different, your can be different. So this is why it is said this is a typical mode of response. So what is attitude? Attitude is simply a dispositional readiness to respond to anyone. It can be to any institution, it can be to persons, it can be to object or anyone. And that was given by Frank Freeman. This specific definition by given by this man. Which topic is the exam is not going to ask you what's the meaning of that, but I must tell you this is why we have included this slide, that dispositional readiness to respond to something is known as attitude. Now we move further, and there are some components of attitude, how the attitude is made up. Okay, there are basically three components of attitude. Whenever I talk this word, you have to keep in your mind that this is only bodily readiness. Okay, bodily readiness to respond to anything, to respond to anything. So you must keep this thing in your mind. So now there are some components of this. Okay, there are only three components. The first is informational or cognitive component. Okay, so what is this? Informational or cognitive component is simply the component, is simply your belief, value, ideas, or information about the object. Okay, again taking that single example, you are watching me live, somebody knocks your door and he and she comes. You already know who is he and she, who is he and she. You already know, you already have some belief, some values, some ideas, some information regarding that object. This is known as informational or cognitive component. Okay, so that is very simple example which I have given you. So this is all about that. Like if you wish to apply for a job, then you can just consult with the existing employee and you can get to know that whether this is job favorable to you or not. So this is regarding informational or cognitive component, which the information or cognition or belief, value, ideas you already have regarding the object. So this was the first component of attitude. Now we move further, and this is going to be the second one. This is emotional or affective. When you feel uh, affective, positive, neutral, or a negative about an object, that kind of a feeling is emotional or affective component. What is this? You're feeling about that object. Okay, so again same example, you know he or she, who is he or she knocking the door, and who you have seen him. Okay, so and you have some feelings regarding them. Okay, if they are your neighbors, they are your friends, they are your family members, they are your relatives. Okay, you have all different kind of a feeling. So that part or that feeling, like affect, positive, neutral, or a negative, that all made up as emotional or affective component of attitude. Okay, So the first was informational or cognitive component. Second is emotional or affective component regarding the object which you see. And this is the last one. This is a behavioral component. This is the last. This is when you actually respond. Okay. So this consists of a tendency of a person to behave. Okay. You know who is he and she. You know that what is the value. Okay. And you also have some kind of emotions regarding them. Finally, you respond to them. That is known as behavioral component. How do you behave? This is your tendency to behave in a particular manner towards an object. When you have seen them, if they are your friends, you will be very happy to see them. Your expression shall be like you are surprised to see them. But if they are completely unknown person, then you will be somewhat in doubt that who are they? I have to ask them what they want from me. So that is called behavioral component. So in three ways or in three components, the attitude is made up. So I think I've given you complete information regarding what attitude is, and after that it's components. Now, the most important thing as usual is there each and every thing we study has some kind of a theoretical aspects or approaches or some schools of thoughts, because I must tell you, there have been research scholars around all the uh, different subjects or phenomena. Okay, so they have given some kind of great researches which ultimately became some kind of theories. So this is why when we talk about theories of attitude, these are nothing but the researches done by some eminent scholars. I have already given you information regarding Maslow's hierarchy theory of need. Okay, he was also a research scholar. I have given you information regarding Frederick Winslow Taylor. His contribution is scientific management. He was also a research scholar. Okay. So in this way, somebody gave some kind of researches, and with the passage of time, they became the theories. So in case of attitude, there have been some eminent scholars who have given some information or researches which ultimately made up to be the theories. And now we have to understand these one. I think these are 3 or 4 theories. The first one is cognitive consistency theory. Okay, cognitive consistency theory. What is this kind of theory? This theory just emphasizes on the thing that you always try to be consistent as far as your attitude is concerned. Okay, you always try to pose a consistent kind of attitude. So this is what we have to understand about cognitive consistency theory. Okay, so you always try to be consistent regarding your attitude towards different objects. Research has generally conducted that people seek consistency among their attitude and between their attitude and their behavior. They always try to be consistent. They do not want to change their attitude frequently or change their behavior, or they are not disengaged with what their mindset says. So this means that people seek to reconcile divergent attitude. They always try to reconcile different attitude, and they always try to appear rational and consistent as far as their attitude is concerned. So this theory is all about that the people always try to seek a consistency in their behavior, in their attitude. So there have been 4 different parts of this theory. Okay, 4 different part of this theory, which we have to go one by one. The first is a balance theory. Balance theory that was given by F. Heather. Okay, so he always he has given the consistency theory. He has given that people always try to be consistent regarding their attitude. Okay, the theory is basically concerned with the consistency in a judgment of a people or issue that are linked by some form of relationship. Okay, so they have given a predetermined structure. Okay, according to this theory, there are 3 elements in attitude formation. The first element is the person itself, like you. The second is the other person, he or she, which is coming or knocking your door. Then impersonal entity. Okay, and this is the third one, which is behaving, which is making up of your mind regarding that person. Okay, so there are three elements which are necessary for formation of attitude, and he has told that between these three elements there are two generic type of relationships. The first is sentiment relationship and the second one is unit relationship. So between these three there are two kind of relationships. The first one is sentiment, second is a unit relationship. So I think by going through this specific picture, you shall get to know about what we wish to teach you and what is this theory about. So the first one is the person itself, second the other person, third one is the impersonal entity which tells you information regarding the other person. So there are two kind of relationships. The first relationship between the first and second one, and the second relationship is the second and third one. And this relationship is further categorized into two parts. The first is a sentiment relations, okay. The second is a unit relation, then again sentiment relation, then a unit relation. And on the basis of these, you comes to know about positive and negative attitude of yourself, okay. So this is how the attitude is bifurcated on the basis of a balance theory given by Heather F. Heather. So all in all, you must know about all these elements. Okay, last is only positive or negative. Okay, when the relationship is made up, that relationship can be bifurcated into two parts only. The first is sentiment, the second one is unit root. Again, sentiment, second one is unit root. And on the basis of sentiments, you think positive or negative. On the basis of unit relation, you think positive or negative. Again, on the basis of sentiment, you think positive, negative, positive, negative. So in this way, when there is all positive things, you behave or you show your attitude in a way that you are very happy to see that person. And if ultimately this has more negative points attached in your sensory, then you don't behave in a happiest manner by seeing a specific personality. So this is how the balance theory works, okay. The sentiment or liking relation include all kind of sentiment effect and unit relations, okay. So if you are just trying to make the differentiation between sentiment and unit relation, these are not difficult to understand. Sentiment relations are the relations which the person is having with this with this second one in overall, okay. So what do you have already information regarding them, okay. If you have any previous experience with meeting with them, then you have some sentiments regarding them, okay. And as far as the unit relation is concerned, at this specific moment, why he has come, that shall make up a unit relationship, okay. Unit relationship with this individual for the specific purpose. If you wish to know that purpose, that kind of relationship shall make up to be the unit relationship. So I hope you would have got some idea regarding what was the balance theory. That was not difficult enough to comprehend. So then we move to the next one, and this is congruity theory. Congruity theory, okay. So this is also similar as the what we have understood in balance theory and consistency theory that was given by C.E. Osgood and P.H. Tannebaum. And this theory focuses on a change in evaluation of a source and concept, okay. Source and concept that are linked by associative and dissociative assertion. I'm going to tell you in detail. I know that by just going through this line, you shall never be able to understand what does they mean. So here they have focused on two things. The first is a source and the second one is a concept, okay. And the source can be the person or the object to whom you are meeting, okay. So they can simply be the source, okay. The second is your perception, your already made perception regarding them, okay. So that is going to be your concept, or if you know why they have come to you. So object is a source and a concept the knowledge regarding them you have, okay. So this is about that. Now we move further. This is regarding congruity theory. It tells you that if they two are positively associated. Okay, congruity exists when a source and concepts are positively associated, have exactly the same evaluation. Okay, so this just to tell you that whatever the perception you have made earlier regarding these items, if these are same in this way as well, only then there shall be congruity or balance or consistency. Okay, consistency. But if the situation is adverse, like they are negatively associated, okay, if there is a source, the person and the concept, the right now the purpose for which he has come, okay, so if they are negatively associated, you thought that somebody would be coming to you for good purpose, but he is not for a good purpose, he is for something else, then what you expected from them at that time, that time there will be negative association between these two things, and that shall ultimately lead to the opposite evaluation attached to them, and you shall not behave in a consistent or congruent manner. So you just behave consistent only if there is a positive association between source and concept. Source means the object or the person meeting you, concept for what reason he has come, or your already made perceptions regarding him. So these things you have to understand, and this is all about the congruity theory. Now we move further, and this is going to be the effective cognitive consistency theory. Okay, so what is all that? Okay, so that has been given by M.I. Rosenberg. Okay, M.I. Rosenberg. So he suggested that specific theory, effective cognitive consistency theory, which is concerned with the consistency between your overall attitude or affect towards an object and your belief about its relationship to more general values. So they have just emphasized, this specific person emphasized that how do you show your attitude? Your attitude is the result of your overall attitude regarding the object and your belief regarding them, your belief, your values, your morals regarding that. Okay, so if these two are in coherence, or if they two are positively associated, then there will be consistency in your attitude. So that was all said by M.I. Rosenberg. So he says that an unstable state occurs when an individual's attitude uh, towards an object and knowledge about an object are inconsistent. Inconsistent. Okay. So they just tells you that if you have the if you see or if you come across toward a specific object and this is completely different to what knowledge and belief and values you have regarding that object, then there will be a kind of unstable state and there shall not be consistency in your attitude. Your attitude can be consistent only based on two things. The first thing is the seeing of or the overall attitude towards an object, and the second, what the knowledge, values, or belief you have regarding that object. So on the basis of that only the consistency can be made up as per this theory. So we move further, if then this is the last under the consistency theory, and this theory is cognitive dissonance theory. Okay, that was given by Leon Festinger in late 1950. They just mean that dissonance is inconsistency. Cognitive dissonance refers to incompatibility that an individual might perceive between two or more of his attitude. Okay, so sometimes when you see a specific situation, you are not able to immediately think that how you should behave. Okay, this is known as inconsistency. So when you suddenly see someone, okay, you are not able to get for some seconds in your mind that how should you show your attitude, whether you should be angry or happy, grateful or anyway. Okay, this is known as dissonance. Okay, so this is cognitive dissonance. Dissonance simply means when there is incompatibility that an individual might perceive between two or more of his attitudes. And furthermore, they just tells you that any form of inconsistency is uncomfortable and individuals will attempt to reduce this dissonance and discomfort. Okay, so this was all about that theory. Okay, and they have not specified any kind of specific attitude, but they have just given that when you are not able to understand between the two different kind of attitudes, that this situation is known as cognitive dissonance, and individual always try to reduce that dissonance so that there is the kind of consistency in their behavior. So I think that was the first part of theories regarding attitude. The first was cognitive consistency theory, in which I have taught you that the people always try to make a consistency in how they behave or in how they show their attitude towards different objects. So this was that thing. Okay, now we move further, and this is regarding functional theory. Functional, this is the second one. This just tells you that your attitude is always the result of your motivational structure. How motivated are you from inside? On the basis of that only your attitude shall make up. Okay, so this theory considers how attitude and efforts are related to motivational structure of individual. If from inside you are very motivated, then you shall always show your positive attitude. So that is functional theory of attitude. I think this is the last one, and that is going to be the social judgment theory. Okay. So what does this theory says? First of all, that was given by Sheriff and Hovland. And this particular theory tells that your individual's position or your attitude depends upon three different things. Okay, three different things. First thing, the anchor or their preferred position on the issue. Okay. So if we are giving any example, okay, of a car, the anchor would be the person's current vehicle. Okay, so if you see an object suddenly, what do you think about that? This is your first perception. Okay, so this is the first thing under the social judgment theory, which tells you that this is your preferred position on the issue. What do you firstly think about that specific thing? So overall, this theory has given you the three different elements on the basis of which your attitude is formed up. Okay, the first is their anchor. That means the prior knowledge or information or perception. The second is their position depends upon alternatives classified as acceptable, rejected or non-committal. The second element in the formation of attitude in the case of social judgment theory is the thinking of alternative of yours. You have seen an object, whether you accept it, whether you reject it, whether you are non-committal to that. That is the second element which forms up your attitude. The last one is third component. This is your personal ego involvement. Okay, personal ego involvement. This is very complicated consideration. So three things are there which makes up your attitude. The first one is prior knowledge of about the object. The second one is your state of mind, whether you what kind of alternatives you wish to accept, like you wish to accept the object, reject or non-committal. The third is your personal ego involvement, that I have to behave in a certain way at a specific situation. So this was all about that, and I think that it would not be viable to go through from the group dynamics and stress management in this lecture only. So I have given you information regarding attitude and their components, and most importantly the theory, which were divided into three parts. The first, cognitive consistency, it had three parts in this itself. Then there was functional theory, and finally there was social judgment theory. And I hope you would have understood all these completely, so I think that the next topics should not be interlinked to these. Okay, attitude is a separate part. So for this reason, we shall be taking the next lecture from 10 minutes from now onwards. Okay, that shall be relating to that group dynamics and stress management. And after that, we shall be seeing that what is there to understand. Okay. So I hope you would have got the complete idea. From 10 minutes from now onwards, we shall be taking the next lecture. Thank you so much for joining me. The login credentials shall be same. Okay. And if I'm late by 1 or 2 minutes, then don't assume that that you are not being connected. Okay. Okay. Certainly there shall be connection after exactly 10 to 11 minutes. Okay. I shall be there with this lecture, and same credentials of login will be there. Thank you so much. We meet soon.